有小鹿宝宝想吃吗？烹饪的哟。不吃了。
The Nara deer is a national monument in Japan. It's a protected animal and is regarded as a messenger of the gods. However, recent incidents involving Chinese tourists harassing and attacking Nara deer have frequently occurred, triggering the anger of Japanese netizens. According to Japan's Sankei Shimbun report, Nara Prefecture has always called on tourists not to touch or suddenly approach Nara deer. However, some Japanese people witnessed a Chinese tourist wearing a white short-sleeved t-shirt and blue jeans punching and kicking a deer in Nara Park. Even though the deer had been driven away by him, he was still chasing the deer. He kicked hard and slapped a deer passing by on the road. The man acted arrogantly throughout the process, and afterwards he swaggered away with his head raised as if he didn't think he was at all wrong. Afterwards, the Nara police received multiple reports that a man in white kicked a Nara deer. The Nara police sent officers to patrol the scene on the 25th and made Japanese, English, and Chinese announcements telling tourists that they would be punished for harming Nara deer. In response, some angry Japanese people voluntarily patrolled Nara Park for several days. On the 27th, someone discovered a Chinese boy feeding deer food stained with feces. The Japanese man who was filming the video put the deer's food stained with feces in front of him and asked him to understand how the deer felt. The boy escaped several times and finally ran away with his mother. These actions quickly aroused public outrage among the Japanese people. Many netizens said, "These Chinese should be deported immediately. Arrest them. There is legal protection, right? Why can't these Chinese be arrested?" In recent years, the uncivilized behavior of mainland Chinese tourists such as spitting, throwing garbage, making loud noises, grabbing food, and carving on cultural relics has made the outside world feel incredible.
A
country's luxury cruise ship has made its grand maiden voyage in Shanghai. Many people look forward to enjoying this cruise ship's high-quality experience. However, I never expected the uncles and aunts of the Chinese tour group to stage scenes of ugly farce on the ship. The first is the free buffet restaurant. Before mealtime, a crowd is already outside the door. The small entrance was packed with elderly people, and the 3 or 4 lines of defense were breached in advance. The anxious staff kept shouting for safety. When picking up meals, the uncles and aunts don't even know what to take more often and take less to avoid waste. When I saw a whole plate of shrimps, I wanted to put them all on my own plate, regardless of whether my stomach could bear it. Some people even witnessed them eating in line and using chopsticks to pick up food in the public area. In the main restaurant, there were fights. If the person in front doesn't let the ant cut in line, the ant will pour milk on the other person's head. Some people just throw away the food if they take too much. Whole bread and eggs were thrown away, and the large bottles of milk were taken away with the bottles intact. If you can't drink it, throw it away. A blogger photographed a waiter on a cruise ship clearing the table with a helpless expression on his face when he saw a large amount of wasted food. The blogger said that on the first day he could feel that the waiters were very enthusiastic, but on the third day it was obvious that the way the waiters looked at the Chinese people had changed. On the other hand, the public space in the cabin is also occupied by Chinese elderly people. They formed a group to dance in the square, and their deafening singing almost overturned the cruise ship. The high-end staircases are also crazily occupied by throngs of people. More and more people are posting to express their bad experience on the ship. I was so tired after getting on the ship, queuing up, grabbing food, and occupying seats. I was so broken that I didn't want to say a word, and I even wanted to cry. The past few days on board have left a huge psychological shadow on me. Every step is noisy, crowded, which makes people desperate. Many people cannot understand these Chinese elderly people. Obviously, the cruise ship's food is free from morning to night, so there is no need to try too hard to snatch it. Uncles and aunts simply can't eat that much, so why are they doing this? Disobeying the rules, cutting in line randomly, and embarrassing people, and wasting money. On June 18th this year, the Korean online community Jeju Mom Cafe uploaded a post titled, "The Chinese Gone Too Far, Please Take a Look," and attached a photo. The photo shows a child defecating next to a tree line on a busy street in Liandong, Jizhou City. A woman who appears to be the child's mother is standing next to her, and a woman traveling with her is standing next to her. They are surrounded by a large number of tourists passing through the sidewalk. The uploader wrote on the post, Chinese people have no problem traveling to Jizhou Island, but they let their children defecate on other people's streets. As a Jizhou Islander, I was very angry, so I called the police. The uploader also wrote, "Why do you do this? Koreans put puppy poop in a bag, but this is human poop. Why do you want to taint other countries?" Originally, the crosswalk was a red light, but the Chinese people cross the road in groups as if they see a green light. I wonder if they have any common sense. The post spread quickly in many online communities in South Korea, and South Korean media also reported the incident. South Korean people have expressed that they are dirty and ignorant. Some asked, would it be acceptable to do this in other countries? Some also said, how can you be so shameless about defecating on the roadside where there are so many pedestrians? Some even asked, should this also be regarded as Chinese culture? Jizhou police arrived at the scene immediately after receiving the alarm, but did not find the Chinese tourist in the photo. Earlier this year, a photo of a Chinese couple letting their daughter urinate in front of the Chakri Mahaprasang Palace, a famous tourist attraction in Bangkok, Thailand, was widely circulated on social media, triggering strong dissatisfaction among the Thai people. Thailand's Tourism and Sports Minister Sermsak Pampani also personally came forward and said, the tourist's behavior was inappropriate and instructed relevant agencies to investigate. In 2018, a student from a Chinese study tour defecated in the aisle of an MTR station in Hong Kong. When the cleaners were cleaning up, a female Hong Kong citizen angrily scolded the student and the teacher for their uncivilized behavior for nearly a minute. According to a clip posted to the Facebook group by netizen Unique Chuang, several boys and the men accompanying them wore the same uniforms with the words V China written on them. The woman filming the film asked them where they came from in Cantonese and Mandarin. Then he told the man traveling with him, "You are so old, don't you know that it's not allowed to defecate anywhere?" The man did not respond. The filmmaker said, "We are in Hong Kong, not the mainland, do you understand?" The man said, "This child suddenly has a stomach ache." The photographer replied that you can ask other people for help if you have stomach aches. Children said they can't help it, but you are an adult and must know how to deal with it. The photographer then asked the children next to him if they felt inappropriate, and one of the boys nodded. Netizens also commented under the post, "Hong Kong is already the place with the highest concentration of toilets." Others criticized the man's innocent answer, which was surprising. How can such a person lead a group if he doesn't even have common sense about life? In 2016, 2 Chinese male tourists urinated in the Royal Botanical Gardens in Sydney, Australia, and clashed with police officers who tried to stop them. They were eventually arrested on the spot for assaulting a police officer. In 2015, a Chinese aunt held a boy and asked him to defecate outside a Burberry store in the UK with just a piece of paper on the ground, and the toilet is just a few feet away. This kind of behavior attracts strange looks and criticism. In 2014, a mainland Chinese couple let their child urinate on the street in the busy city of Hong Kong. This caused a Hong Kong man to be dissatisfied and filmed the incident with his mobile phone. The child's father snatched the Hong Kong man's camera and memory card. The child's mother also slapped a passerby. After police arrived at the scene to investigate, the mother of the child was arrested on suspicion of assault. China has always been known as a country with a 5,000-year-old civilization and a land of etiquette. Why is there so much negative news about Chinese tourists nowadays? We have seen that some Chinese people have realized this kind of behavior is uncivilized, but this phenomena is still common. The reason is that the party culture of the Chinese Communist Party has destroyed traditional culture and replaced it with party culture. People who grew up in the culture of the Red Party do not realize that their behavior is inconsistent with the basic civilization of the world. There are many beautiful connotations in China's 5,000 years of traditional culture. Before the Communist Party ruled, China was known for advocating etiquette and as the land of etiquette. This culture has deeply influenced Asian countries such as South Korea and Japan in history. However, the CCP has completely destroyed the etiquette, politeness, and sense of shame of the Chinese people. After the CCP seized power, it began to destroy China's traditional culture systematically. The most typical one is the Cultural Revolution, which destroyed China's cultural relics, monuments, calligraphy and paintings, antiques, classics, etc. from the artifact level. This party culture has also changed people's lifestyles, including festivals, etiquette, entertainment, food, clothing, housing, and transportation. Pure Chinese etiquette education was replaced by party culture. The party culture is very complex, and its core ideas are three principles: falsehood, ugliness, and struggle. For personal interests or convenience, there is no bottom line to act. These three principles have destroyed the essence of Chinese culture and social foundation and created the absurd scenes we see today.